Hey guys, welcome. It's your girl Black Girl Minimalism. I'm doing a read for tonight. We're using the Neoteric Guidebook deck. My eyes are bothering me a little bit, so bear with me. We're using this deck today. I am going to switch off going into next week, but starting off for this read, we're going to do a read of 12, and the first card to come up is a 10 of Cups. So 10 of Cups has to do with happiness, homecomings, fulfillment, emotional stability, security, domestic harmony as well. So that's the first card that we have coming out. Today is my baby's birthday, my wife's birthday, Erin, and we just came back from dinner. So happy birthday, boo.
Thank you, baby.
You're welcome. And I am excited to celebrate her in so many ways, so many new ways, and amazing things coming forward for her as well. For us, but for her as well, because this is a new chapter of life in her life. So gracious that we're here to celebrate together. So the next thing to come up is the Six of Swords. So this has to do with moving on, departure, leaving something behind, distance, and accepting lessons. So maybe coming from this place into the 10 of Cups, where you're waving at something coming forward. We have the Devil card to come up again. So this came up, when did this come up? Yesterday. And so this has to do with powerlessness, limitations, and trying to navigate around that energy that might come up. And I want to clarify on that, what will come up behind that. The next thing to come up is the Knight of Swords. This has to do with being assertive, direct, impatient, intellectual, daring, focused, perfectionist, and having ambition. So it's like a mixed card here as far as feelings, like the impatience, intellectual is good, but maybe the way in which you're doing it, maybe consideration of how you're moving. And then it also focuses on like focus, perfectionist, ambitious. Sometimes you can be so ambitious that you can not see the process of the flow. So being considerate of, your travel and ambition as well. So this keeps coming out. So we have the Seven of Swords. This has to do with trickery, sneakiness, and cunning. So I always think of this card as paying attention to the energy that comes up. Just take a second look, be aware and considerate of that. But then we also have the Four of Wands. I see this as a card of home and celebrations, because home is also in the 10 of Cups? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 10 of Cups as well. So Four of Wands, I think that together meets with one another, because it has communities, gathering, stability, and belonging. So finding the comfortability in that space. The next thing that come up is the Two of Cups. This is a divine union, partnership, attraction, connection, close bond, joining forces, and having mutual respect for one another. Sorry, Simba's playing with his ball.
Sorry.
It's okay. All right. So the next thing that come up is the Hierophant. I think this came up yesterday. This has to do with knowledge, education, and belief. So maybe studying something. We talked about this a little bit in regards to like the key, books being a key to something. So funny, I went to an appointment earlier and she had Harry Potter on, and I was interested in that. I didn't even come out and tell Erin that, and you know why it was funny, boo? Because that's my first book that my dad, first like young adult book that my dad gifted me on my birthday, and I was like I was over getting a educational gift, but I do see the benefits of it now. And so me and the person that was providing a service for me, which was so sweet, we connected in talking about like her experience and being introduced to Harry Potter, how the books were great, and seeing the demonstration visually of that in the movies was awesome as well, putting the two together. And I see this as a placement of like maybe creativity that sparks from written form into visual form. That could be something as well. But yeah, Harry Potter came up for us earlier. The next thing that came up is the death card. This has to do with transformation. This is ending certain cycles, change, transformation, transition, letting go, release. And it's a really interesting space because I think we're closing out that leftover energy from the full moon in Gemini, where we were like breaking through on emotional transformation, change. Like I just took it as a breakthrough energy, which was quite difficult also in communication. I can consider that in communication. That also came up in the conversation that I was having with the young lady that did my service as well. She talked about communication being a point of effort in things to work on, making sure that it's clear, making sure that what is received is what you want others to hear clearly. And I'm not saying that agreeance, I'm saying making sure that the message is clear. Okay. So the next thing that come up is the Ten of Pentacles. This is a full completion of your finances. This has to do with legacy, putting roots into something. This is surrounded around family and ancestry. This is stability, tradition, affluence. I was trying to think of this word earlier. Affluence and privilege and foundation. And this is generation to generation. You're in the place where it would be a generational change that is going to be monumental. So thus far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards that we pulled thus far, and I'm going to choose 2 more to clarify on the energy. I hope that you guys had a beautiful weekend into the week. The next thing that come up is heartbreak, separation, sadness, grief, sorrow, upset, loss, trauma, and tears. So being that we're in a space where it's like breaking through barriers, breaking through old things, some of that energy may revisit, and it's a call to pay attention, right? Call to pay attention and make the changes necessary. The next thing to come up is the Knight of Wands. This has to do with courage or having courageous energy, energetic, charming, heroic, rebellious, hot-tempered, and free-spirited. So it's funny how hot-tempered and free-spirited are together. And I said this statement to Aaron of don't be easily to anger. Why? Because you're responsible for your responses. And we talked about this in dinner we talked about this over dinner, is that your only responsibility in a particular situation and that you have control over is how you respond to something. So that hot temper and free spirited can go together, because free spirit is like, okay, I'm going to go with the wind. I'm just navigating things, but it can be viewed in a different perspective. So I can see why it's aligned together, but very different, right? So taking those inabilities, taking those inhibitions and moving towards a courageous energy, moving towards a charming, heroic energy is something that you want to do, right? Because that's on the positive side of things. So when we look up, as far as what's facing up for the cards, you have the Ace of Cups. So this has to do with loves, new feelings, emotional awakening, creativity, spirituality, and intuition. I see this as a rebirth because you have the bird that's ascending over the cup as a divine covering for the blessings that are pouring over. And the way in which the hand is pointed out is so delicate in the placement of it, where the card is sitting, where the cup is sitting, that it's runneth over with the cup. You know, it's an abundant energy, but divinely abundant. Okay. So I hope that you guys receive this message. I hope that what you received from this message is the placement of not letting certain things get in the way of what could be on the other side of the happening. So things will come up, you know, unexpected things will happen, but it doesn't mean that you can't reach your Ace of Cups. All right. So I hope that you guys receive this message. I love you so much. Bye.